Hey everybody, it's Chris. Welcome to the fall 2019 soccer season. Some of you refs are returning, some of you are new. Either way, I want to do the best I possibly can to make sure your experience this season is a good one. Having said that, I've got my notes in front of me, so hopefully this won't take too much time, maybe 10 to 15 minutes at the most, and I won't chase too many rabbits with my notes in front of me. So I will say that I may have to pause the video because as I'm making this, we've got several issues that I'm getting text about with my club teams, etc. In case you didn't know, I'm also the president of Catoosa Soccer Association, in addition to being the referee assigner and the area referee. I also get texts and other messages from other clubs, so hopefully I won't get too many interruptions, but at the same time, you really won't notice any because I will pause the video and you don't have to worry about it. So, all right. So, first thing I want to talk about is the referee pool. For the past 5 to 7 years, Vertigo Soccer Club and Catoosa Soccer Association have shared a referee pool. What that basically means is that both clubs use the same referees, and what would happen is, if Verdigris needed more referees one day and Catoosa didn't need as many, the referees would mostly go over to Verdigris and vice versa. There have been days when it was a struggle because of referee availability, or both clubs had a lot of home games and the schedules were just not working out as well as we had hoped. So it does happen, but for the most part, that referee pool, the members of it just went where they were needed. And it's worked out fairly well for the past few years. With that in mind, I need to let you know about something. The referees are United States Soccer Federation referees. You can go anywhere in the United States and referee games for which you are qualified for. Pretty much everybody watching this is going to be a grassroots referee. Whether you are recertifying as a grassroots or you are coming in as a new referee, you will be grassroots. And so you can go anywhere in the United States, whether it be Toledo, Ohio, Seattle, Washington, Anchorage, Alaska. Anywhere you go, you are qualified to do games. So what that also means is that you are an independent contractor. You tell the club assigner what days you can work and what times you can work. Now, understand there's some availability issues that we'll discuss in a little bit, but you get to decide what your schedule is. And you're not you are not any one club's referees. In other words, if you predominantly referee in Catoosa, you're not a Catoosa referee. You just prefer to work at my club. You're not a Claremore referee. You're not a Broken Arrow referee. Now, as an assigner, honestly, I do say my referees, or their, the Verdigris referees or the Owasso referees. I will say that, as every assigner does that. Just understand that you are not my referees. You are not any club's referees. You are your own referee, and you make your own schedule. Having said that, there are several issues we have to talk about when it comes to assignments. Let's drop the term home club. I'm sure you're going to hear that, saying that the league wants you to cover your home club games, or your make sure that your home club games are covered before you go to a tournament, things of that nature. But let's drop that term home club, because that implies that you belong to that club, that you are employed by that club. That's not the case. So let's drop that and use the term preferred club. What that basically means is, myself as a referee, if I weren't involved with Catoosa in any other capacity except referee, and I did most of my games in Catoosa, that would mean my preferred club is Catoosa. However, I will say that I do games in Union. I've done games in Bristow, Owasso, Claremore, Verdigris, Broken Arrow, Coweta. I mean, I've been all over the place. So, but my preferred club is Catoosa, because that's where I live. And there is a referee in our group that lives in Catoosa. or maybe a few miles from our fields, but his and his daughter's preferred club is Union, and that's perfectly fine. Because why? Because we don't have home clubs. They are their own employees, so they get to choose where they referee. Now, having said that, you need to understand a couple of things. When we say preferred club, what that means is that you're telling us, as an assigner, as assigners, that you want to work at our fields. If you tell me that you would like to work in Catoosa, I'm going to give you games in Catoosa. Now, I have access to other games at other clubs if you want other games. Excuse me. So I can help you out there. But for the most part, if every week you're working in Catoosa, that's telling me that's the preferred club. That's not to say you can't work anywhere else, but that's what the league and generally assigners are expecting, is that if we're counting on you to be there, we expect you to be there, unless something comes up like you going out of town or whatever, and you let us know you're not available. So why is this important? Imagine big tournaments. In Tulsa, the Lexus Cup in the spring, for example. It sucks up all the referees from the surrounding area. And what happens is clubs are left struggling looking for referees because there's a referee shortage that weekend. So the idea is to take care of your preferred club first. Make sure that Catoosa's covered. Make sure Verdigris is covered, or Claremore, wherever you prefer to do your the most of your refereeing. And once those clubs are covered, then you can get games with the tournament. So if I have a 9 a.m. game and then a 10:30 game and I need some help, it is really expected that you as a referee will come cover my games and let the tournament assigner know that you're available after that 10:30 game. So maybe noon that day you can have a game. That's the expectation. Does that always happen? No. But what happens is the good referees, and I say good not because of their experience, but the ones that are trying to improve, the ones that are trying to be professional, will communicate with the assigner. Say, I'm doing it. I've got games in this tournament, but I want to know if you have games for me before I go to that tournament. So it's very appreciated when you do that. Don't leave us just stranded, okay? Now, I will say that the more you work for me, the more games you'll get. In other words, if I know I can count on you week after week, I'll give you game after game after game if I can. I won't kill you by giving you 5 games in a row, but I will give you as many games as I possibly can because I know I can count on you. I've had a couple of referees contact me and they want to do games in Catoosa. The only problem is they're telling me they are traveling referees. They don't want to be in one specific club on a regular basis. And that's fine. We can use them every so often, but on a regular basis, I can't count on them. When I can't count on them, it's hard for me to give them games because I don't know if they're actually going to be there or not. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that club that you normally referee for is covered before you go somewhere else. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and talk about assignments since we're talking about kind of on that. I use Arbiter in Catoosa. It's arbitersports.com, and what happens is once you become a referee, you finish your referee class or you recertify, those class lists are sent in to the state referee committee, and they enter the data into the national database to let everybody know that you're certified, that you're updated and all this stuff, and you're ready to go. At that point, we can add you to the state arbiter database. Okay, the state referee has to do that, so what committee has to do that. So what we have to do is take your name and email address, send it in, ask them to add you to the arbiter database, and once they do that, then we can add you to our own specific club arbiter account. For example, I am a member of not only the Oklahoma State Referee Committee group, that's the master database that everybody's in, but I'm a member of Catoosa, Claremore, Union, Owasso, Blitz. I'm a member of many different groups. And that's how I get assignments. But that's also how I give assignments out. So let's use Zane as an example. If I have some games that I want Zane to do, I simply go into Arbiter, click on the game, and then I can choose Zane and the position I want him, whether it be the center or the AR. And then I hit a link called Publish, and it sends out all these assignments via email to these referees. And the referees will open up their email. They'll see that they have games assigned. They will log on to their Arbiter account, look at the schedule, and simply click on Accept or Decline, and then Submit. What that tells me as an assigner is that you'll be there or you won't be there. If you'll be there, we expect you to be there. If you are not there or you hit Decline, we know that we have to find somebody else to fill that position, which is fine. It's just a way of communicating with us and an easy way to do it. Arbiter also will, let's say a game time has changed, we will change the game time in Arbiter, and it will send an email out to those referees. Well, those referees may not be available during that new time, so they can again accept or decline the assignment. So it's really a handy tool that we use. Makes it a lot easier than trying to do it by hand. So most clubs around here use Arbiter simply because the state referee committee uses Arbiter. Now there are some other programs such as GameOfficials.net, I believe it is. Others do it by hand. It just doesn't matter how it gets done. It's just we have assignments that we do. It's just that Arbiter for myself makes it easy. So what it also does, let's say I accept a game for Catoosa and Arbiter, no other club that I'm associated with can use me for that time slot. It shows me as unavailable. Actually, it doesn't show me at all. I don't show up on their list because I'm not available. So that's another good thing about Arbiter. Speaking of not being available, let's say you play on a U16 team and you have games every Saturday, and some of them are in Grove or McAllister or wherever. They're too far away for you to really go play your game, come back and referee games. They're just too far away. So you can block that entire day to tell us that you're not available. Let's say you have a home game though at 9 a.m. and then after that game you want to do a game at 11 a.m. or 12 or whatever. You're available the rest of the day. You can block part of that day. I do have videos on the CatoosaSoccer.com website that shows you how to do that. What else is there? Assignments. Basically, if you accept a game, we expect you to be there. We do understand things happen. You accept the game, and then Friday night you get in a car wreck, or you get 4 flat tires, and you know that the tire shop doesn't open until 9 a.m. and that's when your game starts. We understand. Things happen. Life happens. Just communicate with us. Let us know. We had a girl a couple seasons ago get a concussion during a Friday night soccer game. Well, she had games the next morning. She couldn't make it. Obviously, she had a concussion. We didn't know this until later that Saturday morning, so we were kind of frustrated, but we didn't get too mad because we knew something had to happen. She was very reliable, so something had to have happened. We just didn't know what. But as soon as you can, communicate with us so we know, okay? Because if you don't communicate with us, we begin to think, if it happens more than once or twice, that you're not reliable, and we stop using you as much as we could. So communication is the key, okay? All right, real quick, pay rates. Catoosa Soccer pay rates are as follows, or at least the formula is. For the center referee, take the number of minutes in a half, and that's how many dollars you get. So U8 games, center referees get $20, and it's a solo crew, so you only have one person, it's $20. U10, 25-minute halves, that means you get $25 as the center, and the ARs will get $15. For U12, it's $30 and $20 for the AR. For U14, $35 and $25. So basically what we're doing is the number of minutes and a half, that's how many dollars you get as a center referee, and the ARs the assistant referees get $10 less. So, excuse me, allergies are killing me right now. Anyway, so that's the pay rate in Catoosa. So we did that as an incentive to make sure the referees will cover our games, not our games ahead of your preferred club, but that we can get our games covered, because honestly our regular pay, even before we raised the rates, were better than a lot of tournament rates. So and better than a lot of other clubs as well, just in their regular pay. But also the higher pay is to incentivize the younger ARs to step out and step up to the center position. And even though it may be uncomfortable for them because they've not done it, they need to do it. And so hopefully this extra money will help them want to do that. Because until you do it, you're not going to be able to do it. So just keep that in mind. Now also understand that regardless of what the pay is, as an assigner, it is my duty to put you on games and in positions of those games where you can be the most successful. In other words, you may be an awesome U8 center, but you don't need to step up to U12 just yet because of the different style of play, the speed of the play, and the different rule set. So what I might do is I might put you on as an assistant referee with a more experienced center, so that this he or she in the center could help you on the sideline become a better assistant referee. And as you get better at that assistant referee, then we can put you on to that U12 center and observe how you do, whether it be observing as your AR or observing as just the area referee, not on the game. So anyway, that's what I do. I try to do anyway. Is if you're a new referee, but I think you got a good grasp of, say, the offside offense, I'll put you on an AR with me in the center, so that just in case you miss an offside, I got enough experience to know what to do in that case or in that scenario and make that call when you miss it. So in any case, I just try to, as an assigner, to put you in the position that's going to make you the most successful for that game. Okay, you may want better, what they call better games, which means older games. In layman's term, I can't do that unless I can trust that you can keep up with the play, that you understand the rules, and also the level of competition. So it's just an experience thing. If you're frustrated, talk to me. Let me know. I'll give you my contact information at the end of this video, and just let us know that, or let me know that you're frustrated, or that you like to try some bigger games or try something different, and we can work on that. If you want to do a bigger game, I might put you as an AR instead of just put you right into the center. Okay, so there's a progression, and it's just based on experience. So it would be very unethical of me to put you on a game that I didn't think you were suited for, and it would also make your experience very bad. And not only would it be unfair to you because you wouldn't be as successful, it's not fair to the players who have to play that game with a referee that's not as experienced. So don't get frustrated, just communicate. I will say that you will make mistakes in the season, but don't worry about it. Just make calls confidently, and we'll back you. As long as you are trying, we will back you 100%, 100% of the time. Okay? I want you to know that when it comes to my referees, I don't let anybody mess with them. If they're yelling at you, what I do, I'll be honest, what I do is I let the coach give himself enough rope to hang himself before I step in, unless I don't need to step in. I've seen some young referees take control of the situation and put an end to it, and that's awesome. But some referees are a little more timid, and I wait to see what's happening and what the way that they react, and then I can step in. So just know that we're going to watch your back. Okay, we're not just going to throw you out there, say have a nice day, and then go home for the next few hours and come back at the end of the day. We're going to be there with you. Okay, we want that experience to be great. Again, with the assignments, we're going to put you in the position that we think you're going to be most successful. The unfortunate part is we don't always know the coaches or the teams, and they may make it more difficult than we thought it would be. But we're there for you, and we're there with you, supporting you, backing you up, and just taking care of you. So I understand that's very important to myself because I want you to come back. All right. There's really not much left for me to say. I've already gone over the preferred club thing. Let's see, assignments, extra games. Oh, for extra games, let's say Catoosa is your preferred club and we only have 2 games for you, but you want more. Let me know. I can find you games. As an official certified USSF assigner, I have access to all the contact information for the other assigners in the area. So I can get you games. Just let me know. As for tournaments, if you're a first season referee, please understand that I will not recommend you go to a tournament till maybe the end of the season, just because you need to learn the ropes, if you will. The problem with going to a tournament too early is that referee assigners will just put you on a game that you're really not qualified for. And it's not fair, again, to the teams who have paid $400 to be in that tournament, to get a referee that's just not, the truth is, not competent enough to call that game. So, and again, it's not because of your intelligence or your willingness. It's just your experience isn't there yet as a new referee. So we'll give it a season. For sometimes it takes 2 seasons, and that's fine. I'm just asking you to, for those of you who don't know me, take a leap of faith and trust me. I promise you, I will not do anything that I think will cause you to be unsuccessful. All right, new rules. I'll just go over these real quick because pretty much everyone should have already hit on these, especially new referees. Goal kicks and any free kick within the penalty area. The ball does not have to leave the penalty area for it to be in play. The ball must simply be kicked and clearly moved for the ball to be in play. It doesn't have to go outside the penalty area, just kicked and clearly moves. Anybody can go for the ball at that point. The attackers may not camp out in the penalty area, though. They must be retreating outside that area and not trying to guard any of the defenders that are in the penalty area. So they must be making an effort to get out, but once that ball is played, you can go for it. And that's for goal kicks and any direct or indirect free kicks going out of the penalty area. For goalkeepers, it's kind of weird, but I guess it needed to be written into the law. Let's say a goalkeeper is trying to punt the ball and he shanks it and it goes backwards. That goalkeeper can now pick the ball back up with his hands. It's not a illegal touch anymore. It used to be that the goalkeeper could not release the ball and then touch it with his hands again before another player. But if he's making a true effort to clear the ball, whether it be on the ground or he's throwing the ball and it slips out of his hands, he can pick that back up. So just keep that in mind. It is still illegal for a goalkeeper to touch the ball from a direct pass from one of his teammates. So that rule hasn't changed. Just shanking the ball during the clearing. What you're going to find in the U10 and U8, kids doing this, trying to throw the ball out, but the ball falls behind them, they can pick it up again. Let's see. The other big issue or the big rule change was handball. Basically, just remember this, that you cannot score if the ball hits your arm or hand, accidentally or on purpose. If you head the ball and it hits your hand and then goes in the goal, no goal. Now, if you hit the ball and it hits a defender's hand and goes in the goal, then yes, it's a goal. But basically, attackers cannot have the ball touch their hand before it goes in the goal. That's really the big change, and I want to try to simplify it for you as much as possible. The other one is the referee used to be part of the field. If it hit the referee, you kept playing. Now it is a drop ball for the team that last touched it. Okay, so if the defenders are clearing the ball and they happen to hit you with it, then they get an indirect free or a drop ball where it hits you. And on the drop ball, speaking of that, it is dropped to the team that last touched it. Okay, so if a defender clears it, hits an attacker, and then it hits you, guess who gets the ball? The attacking team. So it may not be fair, but that's what the rule is. For the walls, if you have 3 or more people in a defensive wall, the attacking team must be at least 1 yard away, or one big step. Okay. On the free kicks, this is an old rule, but I'm going to reiterate it. If you call offside or a direct free kick, or you call a foul for tripping, whatever, that free kick, the defending team cannot just simply stand in front of the ball. They must immediately begin retreating. If they do not, wisdom would say, give them a warning the first time, give the team a warning. The next time one of those team members does it, give them a yellow card. The attacking team does not have to ask for 10 yards or 8 yards, whatever age you're playing. They do not have to ask for it. The defending team must begin retreating immediately. And not slowly either. They must do it at a normal pace, whether it be a normal walk, but they can't, just baby step backwards. But they must begin retreating, okay? Please enforce this. Give them yellow cards. If it ends up being a red card because they've done something stupid later, that's their own fault. And if the coaches want to argue about it, give them a yellow card too. That's one thing I do like. Yellow cards for coaches. Basically, what you're going to find is in rec clubs or rec games, it's going to be dissent. They're going to be arguing with you. Just give them a yellow card. In the spirit of the game, you ask them, say, "Coach, I need you to stop." After that, yellow card, red card. Make sure at the end of the games, any red cards or yellow cards are recorded on the game form. If it's a red card, let your assigner know, and we will help you fill out the send-off form, because there is paperwork to do if you give someone a red card. It's not bad, but it has to be done. If at all possible, take a picture of the game form when that happens, if at all possible. If not, it's all right. Just make sure you record everything on your notepad that you're recording the game results on. Okay. All right. That's really about it. Anything else can be taken care of just by asking me. If you can think of anything specific. I'm trying to cram a recertification class into about 5 minutes here. Sorry, my eyes are going back and forth because I'm trying to figure out if I'm missing anything pertinent. Oh, on the coin toss. Now the winning team gets to choose the direction that they will attack, or if they get the kickoff. If they choose the kickoff, then the other team gets to choose which way to attack, and vice versa. So if the winning team chooses which way to attack, then the other team chooses, or they get the kickoff. So, substitutions. Depending on the heat of the game, if it's a real close battle and it's really physical, go ahead and let the substitutes come across the field to their own team side, instead of going and getting off the field and going to the parents. Because right now, as the law is written, substitutes must leave at the nearest touchline point on the touchline, or nearest point on the goal line, the nearest boundary line. So just keep that in mind. The rec games, a lot of times we just want them to go ahead and come all the way across the field instead of getting off the field and walking in front of parents or the other team. So it's your discretion as a referee. Also, if there's a water break or cooling break or whatever kind of break you give them in the middle of the halves, make sure you add that time on to the end of the half so that they actually play the 30-minute half or the 35-minute half, versus cutting this half the playing time 2 minutes short or whatever it is. So, all right, I think that's good. Equipment wise, you need a yellow shirt for certain, socks, and we prefer two stripe socks, black shorts, solid shorts. We prefer the score or the official sports, actual referee shorts, but please no mesh basketball shorts or anything like that. Predominantly black shoes. Now I will say that if you've already bought shoes for your soccer team and they happen to be lime or bright orange, that's fine, wear them. Just be sure to wear everything else on your uniform. Whistles, either a finger lanyard or a wrist lanyard. We do not want neck lanyards where we have to reach up and grab our whistle, or we do not run with whistles in our mouth at all. Okay? Because you want to be able to talk to the players and everything else. Plus, with the wrist, if you blow a whistle, you're bringing it up. Was it really a foul? Do we play advantage? Okay. So it gives you about another second to make that decision on whether or not to blow the whistle. Watches, wrist watches. No stopwatches hanging around your neck. No phones with their timers in your hand. So wrist watches. You can buy a good wristwatch at Walmart for $20. It's called the Casio Illuminator. I have one. It's been really good. It counts down. It's pre-programmed for 10, 12, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40, 45 minute intervals. So it automatically already has that. Just set the proper time for your age group and go. Also has a stopwatch. But $20 and it will last you, I think mine lasts about 5 years. So I use it every day and for every game. So, but yeah, the Casio Illuminator, $20 at Walmart. After the first couple weeks, you probably need to get 2 of them, one for each wrist. Okay, so what I do is I use this one to count down and this one to count up. It's just a preference thing. But 2 watches, 2 pins, and I think that'll work. So, have any questions? Hopefully you can see my contact information on the screen right now. But Chris Buehler, Buhler. My referee email address is K2CREF. That's K, the number 2, letter C, REF at gmail.com. My phone number is 918-948-3131. Please text me. Do not call. Just because sometimes I have a hard time hearing on the phone. So, and plus text, I can remember what you're talking about. I can have a record of it. We also have the GroupMe chat, which I hope most of you are on. If you know of a referee that's not on it, but is in our referee pool, please add them or let me know what their phone number is and I can add them. Communication, that's what is key for everything. So if you don't see my contact information on the screen or didn't see it, just hit rewind. Okay, so games start in the fall on September 7th. I will tell you that we had to cancel the games in Catoosa on the 7th simply because the city mowers yanked up all of our field markers, so I have to remeasure and remark them before I can stripe them. And also next week, September 15th or 14th, 14th and 15th, we do not have any games home games in Catoosa. So for the next 2 weeks, make sure you cover Verdigris or Union or wherever you want to go. And if you need games, let me know. I can help you find them. Other than that, I really hope you enjoy this season's experience. Let me know if I can help you in any way. I don't care what club you prefer to go to. I will help you. I'm there for you. So if you have any questions, I am a certified instructor, so I can give you the answers you're looking for, or at least I can point you in the right direction. As a certified assigner, again, I have contacts that I can help you with. Plus, I am strictly bound by the code of ethics of an assigner, so you can trust that I'm going to do what's right. And just as an experienced referee who's getting to the point where I can't do all the games I used to be able to do, I need some replacements, so I'm going to help you be a success. All right. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, whether it be morning, noon, or night, and we'll see you on the pitch.